In 1999, during the Kargil War, a bomb landed just 1.5 meters away from him. He was declared dead on arrival at an army hospital. A month later, his leg was amputated. A few years later, in 2009, he became India's first ever Blade Runner. He holds numerous Limca world records and was among the Limca People of the Year in 2016. He received a national award for the empowerment of persons with disabilities in 2018. In 2019, he became the first disabled solo skydiver from Asia. Today, SSB Short Academy is honored and privileged to have the one and only Major DP Singh on our YouTube channel for a highly motivational and inspirational interaction. Make sure that you don't miss any of our free classes and exclusive new videos on SSB Short Plus. Subscribe now and hit the notification bell. Follow us on Instagram for more informative and motivational content, offers and updates related to the armed forces. Visit our website for numerous online courses and study material. Call us on 6364052525 to inquire and register. Now let's get back to the video. Good evening, sir, and welcome to SSB Short. It's a great privilege and honor for us to have you on our platform. And I'm sure a lot of our viewers who are mostly defense aspirants will be highly motivated and inspired by today's session. Welcome.
Thank you so much, Romil. Thank you so much.
Yes, sir. So, sir, people have usually heard about you and they've seen you as the first Indian Blade Runner. They've also known you as the Kargil war hero. But why don't you tell us, why don't you take us back to your story before you actually joined the armed forces and what motivated you to join the army?
Good question, because in my childhood itself I was exposed to the challenging situation which perhaps shaped me up to face the biggest challenge of war, the outcome of war which I faced later on in 99. So I recollect my first U-turn of life which I took when I ran away from my home in 8th standard. I was staying with my grandparents in Roorkee.
Alright.
And because of being away from parents, I used to miss, and the environment was, I will not say comfortable, but neither neutral, little towards the uncomfortable for a small kid who felt that it is better to be at my maternal grandmother's place. So I ran away from home.
Okay.
And while I was on the outskirts of Roorkee, a known person saw me and he got me back on his cycle. While coming back is the time when I actually took a U-turn in my life, and I felt that running away from situations, running away from your reality, running away from your challenges, running away from your weakness is not the answer. What is required is to face wherever, in whichever situation, howsoever you are, and empower yourself, grow your strengths internally to become strong enough to rise above those challenges.
So, sir, I think hardly a year or maybe a year and a half after you joined the army, I think that's when the Kargil war broke out in 99. So,
Exactly.
what was your sort of experience in that, and how did that change your future life or the future course of events in your life? Because I think that is the most interesting part.
Well, interesting life I lived after that second U-turn of my life, because as I mentioned, the first U-turn enabled me on the thought process of not running away from the situation, challenges, difficulties, problems, or whatever setbacks whatever name you give it to them. And the second by the time I reached to the second U-turn, which was the Kargil war, Operation Vijay, and you are absolutely correct, 97 December I got commissioned, and July 90 99 I got injured. It was year and a half, and though during that year and a half I had only completed my young officers and commando course and some amount of chutti at home. That's it. I was directly sent on the post, the post on line of control. But I was evacuated as an injured by my team, the 7 Dogra Battalion boys. But what I learned in that short span of about one month plus stay at the post is, that Chetwood motto is actually supposed to be lived 100%. Country comes first, then comes your team. You can only draw anything out of your team, make them do anything, if you take care of them well, look after them well, before self. Maybe that is the reason why when I came under heavy shelling and I was lying as a pool of blood and flesh because mortar bomb had exploded just 1.5 meters away from me, and all the shrapnel had pierced me and cut me through, and blood was coming out like fountain. Within fraction of second I was unconscious. That's where the team played the role. My boys, who disregarded their own personal safety, knowing very well that they are within the enemy reach to be taken pot shot one by one, knowing very well that there is a river stream flowing behind, and later on I came to know that 1 out of the 4 stretcher bearer was a weak swimmer. But despite knowing their own realities, again in front of them, what was more important was to have focus on the sole aim, which was to evacuate their officer commanding from the battle zone.
I think the Indian Army does set an example in these kind of instances. So, sir,
exactly.
After you realized that you were injured, so how did your next phase of your life begin? And at what point did you think that, you want to start running again? And how was that journey?
Well, once I was evacuated from the battle zone, the second input or second support system was created by the second doctor who saw me, because the first one had declared me when he received me in hospital as dead. Second one was Colonel Rajinder Singh. He was an anesthesiologist, and he intervened. He revived me before my body was actually being told to take to the mortuary. Then started the life, actually. And in the last 21 years, the life which I have lived is much far more beautiful than what otherwise I could have lived. And I give the due credit to the challenges which I faced, alongside the wisdom which I feel is being granted by the God, a little bit of wisdom to look at the positives of the challenges when you are facing. It is for the benefit of a person. If you are under difficult situation, that means you are the chosen person. That means you are due for something beautiful in the future. And if your environment is actually not neutral or comfortable, it is little uncomfortable, then you are even more lucky, because then you are getting chances to explore your inner abilities even far more better, and individually then you can explore and stand and do whatever you otherwise could have felt that is not possible.